y'all full of crap, man. Y'all just doing this for the sake of superiority. Nicki Minaj, back to her. You're just doing this for the sake of superiority. You're doing this so you can feel like you're better than people. And you've always been, you're nothing. What you could rap a little bit. You had rapping talent, and you got your body done to get attention. Congratulations. Now look at you. You lost your whole fan base because you want to high five it with this guy who cares nothing about people that look like you. And then, oh, Trump isn't racist because he's nice to some black people. That's like saying slave owners weren't racist because they like some of their slaves. Y'all niggas want to be the good one so bad, huh? Welcome. This is the Between Brothers podcast, where we bring you real talk, authentic takes, and laughs on sports, pop culture, and life. I'm your host, Lando, who we also know as Duke of Debonairness, and my brother from the same mother, the only mother that could produce debonairness and charismatic out of the same womb, the chancellor of charisma, my brother, Zero. What's going on, Zero? Catch us up, man. How was your week?
Nothing much. Had what was it? Work Friday. Had to sit through watching videos. That pissed me off. It's like because I would have been halfway finished if not for safety videos having to be um signed off by the manager. So it's like, all right, I'm wasting time on this. Um, of course, Christmas. Yeah, kids enjoy their gifts, especially Jelly Ball, like doing her best to learn how to roller skate. No, yeah. What was it? We had the group. We had the group call. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think that was like the highlight of the day. And there was something that I was thinking about that I talked to our oldest sibling about because even though we haven't even I know I haven't been to New York since 2010. This year they're ending using Metro cards, or at the turn of the year. So on the 31st is the last day that you can use your Metro card. So because it's
What
switching
are they replacing it with?
this thing called Omni. Like you can tap your phone and pay your fare that way.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, so at the beginning of the year, I said to our oldest sibling, I was like, "Yo, I want to get me a Metro card." It was like it was like a last piece of the '90s. Yeah, hold on to that.
Yeah, I remember when they implemented Metro cards.
Yeah, it used to be blue with the gold Metro card across it. Then they decided to make it Metro Card Gold, and then they just wiped the blue one out and just like, all right, this is just straight up Metro Card. I remember I had the white and I had the white and green one that was for students that caught the bus. But but I was like, yo, I said at the beginning of the year I got to get me a Metro card. So she said, why don't you just get one online? And then I'm looking for some online, and they doing ridiculous prices, talking about $120 for a Metro card. It was like, yo, you sniffing coke through a Capri Sun straw. If you think I'm paying $120 for that, so remember my old coworker? She goes up to Brooklyn to meet up with her family. So I hit her up. I said, yo, they're wiping out Metro cards. I said I wanted to get one. The turn of the year is almost here. Can you get me a Metro card? And then she hits me up yesterday, and she was like, "Yeah, just to let you know, I got that. I got the Metro card because her peoples I guess they buy Metro cards in bulk, so they had one that they hadn't opened yet. So what's it called? Got that last piece of the childhood coming when she gets back from New York. So yeah, yeah. But other than that, everything was pretty shipshape.
Yeah, that was I've been off for like the last week and a half. I go back to the job tomorrow. We're recording on a Sunday, but I pretty much got half the month off because I had 10 days off for my vacation time, and then I go back on Monday. I work Monday and Tuesday, and then off New Year's Eve because that's just my day off is always New Year's Eve or Wednesdays, and then Thursday we're off because we're closed. So yeah, pretty much half the month off, man. So um, I ain't trying to go back, dog. For real, yo. I ain't on front, man. Like I was kind of like if I had a way, I wouldn't go back, man. I'm telling you the truth, man. But Christmas is good. Coco Puff got pretty much just about everything she wanted. She wanted a Barbie dream house thing, but we ain't got no room in our house for that. Um, and uh, and she was like, "Oh, I'll get rid of my ice cream truck she hadn't played with in like 2 years." She's like, but she don't play with it because she lost all the pieces. It's not that she didn't want to play with the thing anymore. So I was like, that thing is, and then the Duchess is like, oh yeah, like we could do that, and I'm like, you know how large a Barbie dream house is?
Oh, I what's it called?
I'm like, what are you talking about? That the ice cream truck was big, but the Barbie dream house is 3 times bigger than that. So I'm like, yeah, nah. And it's like $300. I was like, yeah, not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah,
The
it's had one before. Yeah, it's no.
our sister got Mace a Nintendo Switch, and that was really cool. So he was excited about that, and she got him Pokemon. Um, Honestly, I don't think I would have made that his first game. I think I would have done something a little simpler. Not saying Pokemon isn't simple, but because it's just like, nah, actually, I don't know.
It's not like he
No,
started
no,
off with red and blue.
I just no, no, yeah. There's that. Like, it's not like I don't think that should be that type of Pokemon should be his first
Mm.
game. Like, it's like Zelda being like your first, like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild being your first video game. I think I would have started him off, but she didn't say anything about like getting him the Switch because she would have. I would have been like, okay, if you're gonna do that, like this is the kind of you want to get him something real simple button motions, Super Mario. Um, Even that's a little complex because the levels get harder, but a platform game, a Mario Kart, something like that. Um, but he's been enjoying playing that. I told him that the most important decision he's ever going to make, more than the person he marries, more than the career he picks, more than how many children he decides he wants to have, is his very first Pokemon.
Mm.
Who did he start with? And he started with the fire type. I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now. Um, but uh, but yeah, good. I'm happy for him. I got Link the Bleach swords, Ichigo's final swords. I guess them joints is fire, Like I didn't expect them to look that good and that realistic.
Mm.
Um, with the when they came out, but yeah, those joints is it. But yeah, and then of course, all the kids got something. The Duchess got her Coach bag. She's been asking for that. So what did I ask for? I asked for a Switch 2. I didn't get a Switch 2. It's okay.
Mm.
Um, I got a bunch of clothes. So me and Link both got a bunch of clothes. The funny thing was we got like 400 shirts and one pair of pants. I'm like, and then the Duchess got me some sneakers. So she got me some orange, white, and black Jordan ones. So I was
Oh, she
like,
got you the shattered backboards.
I don't know what that means, but yes, I guess.
Um,
Um,
no, that's the colorway. It's called shattered backboards.
I mean, I could probably go grab them and see if that's the way, but
Do they have like any pattern on them? Like,
uh-uh.
because I know those. I know the colorway that you're talking about is called the shattered backboards. Like, let me find out.
um, yeah. So, but here's the thing, though, and so it's so funny because like I remember when I bought or when she got me the PS5, like it seemed like it was ungrateful because she had been talking down on me getting the PS5. So when she got it, I was like, "Why'd you get this?" Right? So now it's a gift for me, and I've enjoyed playing it when I get the opportunity to. Which ironically, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be off in the next 10 days. I'm gonna play my PS5 just to not touch it." Um, But but she bought me these Jordan ones, and I was like, "Oh, this is a Duchess gift. Like this ain't for me." You see what I'm saying? Like it's like Homer Simpson with the bowling ball when he got Marge the bowling ball.
Oh Jesus!
Nah, this ain't them.
It's not them.
Nah, the toe is white. What is up with this blooming camera?
Your
Why
background,
isn't
probably why.
no? But it's supposed
Okay,
okay.
I see it.
Yeah, the toe is white on mine.
Okay.
Um, but because I'm not a fan of Jordan ones.
Hmm.
I don't think they're comfortable. I have a pair of Jordan ones, some green and white ones. So I'm like, so do I appreciate it? Yes, but was I happy to get them? Not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? So similar to the PS5, where it's like, you did this grand gesture for me, but it was like, you kind of talked me out of the PS5 because I was going to buy it myself. So I'm like, and like I said, me not being necessarily a fan of Jordan ones, I wore them. Um, I wore them to the movies. We went to see Zootopia 2 yesterday. Um, Regal Cinemas. I actually have like one of the membership joints with them. Those people are ridiculous. So there's this one down the street from my house. It's old, it's rickety as hell. It's not a very good movie, and the seats are mad close. I'm not gonna act like I'm the tallest person. I'm 6 feet tall, but the seats are too close for me. Makes my knees ache because I'm sitting in this tight position for a couple hours. It's similar, I guess, like an airplane, like sitting on an airplane for me. So they had the audacity to charge $18 a ticket for those for the it's literally the worst movie theater in the city. And they were charging the most money. So I ended up
Um,
going to
were they not playing it at Cinema Cafe?
no.
Oh, okay, that
And you
makes
gotta also remember I gotta get 7 people.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you to line 7 people up ain't necessarily the easiest thing. So we went to AMC, caught that show. Zootopia 2 was great. It was just as, if I were to compare it to the first one, it was just as good as the first one. So, so yeah, it was really good movie. The only thing was it was predictable in that it was just as good as the first one, but the plot of it was similar in the sense of like you knew there was going to be some sort of um betrayal, and so it was just like, yeah, like, because that's how the first one went. um but for those who may listen to this podcast and take your kids to see the movie, ironically, when we went to see the movie, there was the adult to child ratio was fairly unusual. Like, there wasn't enough kids for as many adults as there were. Now, I'm somebody who will go see an animated movie by myself. So I'm not even like tripping off of that. But I'm just saying, like, because I do that, there's usually a healthy, like a 3-to-1 adult to child ratio. This felt like it was 1-to-1 outside of if I didn't bring our 5 children to go see this, which actually I guess Link isn't necessarily a child, so because he's 18. Um, but yeah, man, just it was a good experience. Christmas was good. We played like a Family Feud kind of thing. So that was fun. Like I said, the kids enjoyed their presents and all that stuff. So yeah, and then the old Lincoln Lollipop, they came back the day after Christmas, and Link got an electric bike, bought himself an electric bike. That thing go fast, dog. That thing go like, well, I got it up to 20 miles per hour. Um, but apparently it'll go faster if you pedal. But the bike was like low, I guess, so I didn't want to pedal just because I'm like, it wasn't like I didn't want to have to adjust it for my height and everything like that, because Link is like 6 inches, 5, 6 inches shorter than me. So but yeah, man, that was Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all who listen to this episode. Um but let's get into these topics. I don't have too much time. Um Nicki Minaj. Hold on a second.
Nicki, Nicki, Nicki. I don't know what the hell she was thinking.
So she gets on, she on board with Trump, I guess. I'm like, people people who make it out of, not necessarily the best situations, they have a way of like having sort of a God complex to them. Like she goes pretty much co-signing everything Trump is doing, Trump villainizing, Nigerians, um, Trump villainizing Nigerians, Trump saying like, oh, they're doing these things to the Christian people, and he's, gonna do something about it, and attacking Nigeria and things of that nature, um, and she's co-signing it, and she's been on Twitter, like talking, saying all these things, like supporting Trump. Then she gets on stage with the man. Her fan base, major outrage. She loses 10 million followers to then force herself to delete her Instagram account, which I'm not sure why. I'm like, I wonder what the comments should be more. Why? I don't know what comments were being said to. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, why losing 10 million followers? I don't know how many followers she had before, but losing all them followers shouldn't really make you delete your Instagram account. Not saying like that isn't hard to see, but I'm like, but the people who was rocking with you still after this were your true fan base. I mean, I would assume so. But I'm like, oh, like you think what do they call them? The barbs. Maybe the barbs are the ones that are still around. But I'm like, or were still around. But I'm like, you really thought that you were above all these people. Like you really thought that like you can just do whatever and they were going to support you because they supported you through all your foolishness, even this random beef that you created with Cardi B out of God knows what. So I don't like when I saw the tweet that Donald Trump made about the Nigerian people killing Christians, which from what I've heard about it and the little research I've done about it, it's not even about that. Like, it's actually, there is like a terroristic group that's attacking Nigerians. They're just attacking Nigerians who are mostly Muslim. There just so happens to be Christians who are also being attacked. So, but he made about Nigeria and about the Nigerian government attacking Christians, which isn't true. And it's like, if you would have done a lick of research, Nicki, you would know that this isn't true. But then the fact that he's calling all these African countries shitholes and things of that nature, he clearly has an agenda against Africa. And then you see the agendas across the board when it comes to Donald Trump and enriching himself and doing nothing for the American people. And his first election, I was indifferent about it. I'm like, okay, the dude's a fool, but like, whatever. This election, he's actively being a vile piece of human garbage. Because he's declared fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. Then when you look, just like George Bush saying that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. So that justified him going into Iraq and starting the Iraqi war, just like Trump attacking these fishing boats, saying that they're bringing fentanyl in. Apparently, there hasn't been any evidence of that. And then come to find out, Venezuela has the largest source of oil in the world. And I'm like, I don't know what's on her mind. I don't know if it's just like because she's getting tax breaks while she's doing this. I don't understand. And then you decide to delete your Instagram account versus holding yourself accountable and being like, upon further research from my sources, I made a mistake. This guy, he's attacking the Somali immigrants. He's attacking all people of color. And he thinks it's because that's what his fan base wants. And unfortunately, because the American people do no research about anything, this guy's back in office. And the economy isn't growing, nothing's getting more affordable. He's literally called the word affordability a Democrat hoax. He said the Epstein files weren't real. It was a Democrat hoax, even though he ran on releasing the Epstein files. And this guy has lied in every which way possible. And Nicki decides that's who I want to attach myself to. This guy, they had one person who was a black person that was running for the Democrat or for the Republican Party, Winsome Seals in Virginia. He didn't even know her name. And then he said, well, I wasn't really a fan of hers anyways, when she was the biggest poll rider in Virginia for him. That's the guy you decide to attach yourself to. Okay. Nicki Minaj, you deserve everything you get.
Yeah.
Everything. You worked hard for it. Zero, what are your thoughts?
It's just fine. It's like you just found yourself alienating yourself from your fan base because the fact that because the thing about it is I'm pretty sure all those people who are following you, that fan base that decided to remove themselves from you, were more likely the people that you were insulting. It's like, it's funny. It's like the moment you start making the moment you're making money and now all of a sudden so all of a sudden you want to switch up. But the thing about it is, so I saw a video on Instagram where somebody was listening to her lyrics and was saying that yeah, basically saying non-Republicans were broke anyway. It was like this isn't a surprise.
She
She
said
said this,
non-Republicans were broke.
yeah, it's like
Oprah's
so,
broke.
huh?
Oprah's broke.
I guess so. But
I
she
think
was,
I want to say Warren Buffett heavily supports the Democratic Party. I want to say Warren Buffett is a Democrat. I'm not 100% sure though.
but it's like when it's like folks, she was basically like folks shouldn't be surprised because this has been this has been how she felt for years.
Mm.
Like this is what it's like. This is what she's been putting off for years. Like this isn't something that's absolutely new. It's like, and the thing about it is, it's like is it just a political party thing where you just, or let me not even say, because I don't normally talk politics with folks, but it's like, is it just a political party thing or is it a Republican thing where it's like folks feel the need to have to um insult insult you if you're like make it go out of your way to insult somebody that isn't representing the party that you or that isn't part of the party that you represent. Because like what because that lyric, I wish I wrote the lyric down. When she put that in her song, like was the reason what was the reasoning behind it? What prompted you to to put that in there to call yourself insulting folks that weren't Republican and calling them broke? Like what was it? Because now you gone ghost. I mean, she's been on some other stuff for a while now. It's like, yeah, she's been on some other stuff for a while now, talking about suing Jay-Z. Um
You want Jay-Z for what?
it has something to do with streams, I believe,
Was
on
she signed to Jay-Z or
on
something?
title. Nah, she ain't signed to Rock Nation. But it has something to do with streams. But she was saying that Jay Z owed her money and she was gonna sue and this, that, and the third. It was like then wanting to go back and forth with female rappers. Like she'd been doing this dumb shit all year. And this was just the cherry on top at this point. This is cherry on top. And folks said, fuck this. There's like fuck out of here. We ain't dealing with this shit no more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's the Republican thing. So there's two people I know. And I don't the thing is I don't want to say because I hear like I see Democrats make fun of like Republicans as well. So I don't want to make it seem like it's one-sided, but the only people I know who like actively speak against a specific party, like a party specifically, happen to be two people who, well, one person who calls himself an independent, that's a lie. And then the other person who is, a Republican, or he, declares himself a Republican. The reason why I say the other person being an independent is a lie is because if you constantly talk about the other party in a negative way, you can't say you're neutral. All right, I say I'm a Die Easy Jets fan. Okay. But if everything I say praises the Patriots and everything I say is negative towards the Jets, no one's going to believe I'm a Jets fan. Even Die Easy.
It's like, nah, this nigga really a Patriots fan.
How good the Patriots organization has been over the last 25 years. I cannot say I'm a Jets fan. The only thing I do is talk well about the Patriots and do nothing but talk negative about the Jets. So and that's why I'm like, you're just admit. And he's like, no, but his thing is like, I'm not a Republican, I'm a conservative, whatever that's supposed to mean. So, but he used to send me messages and it'll be like people doing dumb stuff.
Mm.
And then he'll be like, I bet they voted for Kamala, or I bet they're a Democrat. I never knew stupidity to have bounds on political. I never knew people did stupid stuff based off of what their political alignment is. I've seen stupid people from all walks of life. And, to be honest, and I think I said this on this podcast, but like a lot of stuff that he would send to me made me lean more left Just because, like, I'm like, this does none of this makes sense. Like, he used to send me stuff from this place called PragerU, which is like this right wing media outlet or something like that. And it would always talk badly about black people. And I'm like, why is everything black people do bad? Even though like the police would say, hey, like I patrol good neighborhoods, I patrol bad neighborhoods. The bad neighborhoods, they have this one thing in common. They're uneducated and they broke. Skin color has never mattered in these things. But black people have been villainized more and they're taught to be more, treat black people more as villains. Like these are what I've heard police officers say. And so I'm like, but he would say like Democrat like it was an insult. I'm
Mm.
like, but the thing is, like, as far as like education base, the largest when you get to a certain like income bracket and educational bracket, they mostly vote Democrat. So I'm like, no, so it's like they're not stupid because they're Democrats. Actually, proven that educated people vote more Democrat. Vote, and so it's just like that's interesting that like for whatever reason you think that that's and then he I remember he had told me like, oh, you shouldn't vote Democrat because Democrats created the Ku Klux Klan, which he's right, but that was only half the story because sometime in the 1960s, 1970s there used to be conservative Republicans and Democrats, liberal Republican and Democrats. Then there was a shift where all the liberals went one way and all the conservatives went another way. And that's how we have the Republican and Democrat parties that we have today. My thing is, as long as those parties are run by mostly Caucasian people, there's never going to be equality for black people. So I don't care whichever direction it comes from. I don't trust either one of them. But what I do trust are policies. That's what I trust. So when I vote, I literally read every piece of policy they plan to implement and see does that help me or people like me or people that I know that I'm close to, or does it help or does it not help? So, for example, if I was a rich man, I'd probably be inclined to vote Republican. But then I'll remember, I'm just saying, like, I'm the only person who's rich in the family. But then in my head, I'll be like, okay, I don't want to pay taxes, but um, what if zero was getting food stamps? Do I want to cut that so my brother can't eat? You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's not just about me. It's about who's close, or what if one of our sisters is on Medicaid? What if my mom was struggling financially? Our mom has passed away. What if my dad was struggling financially? Our dad has passed away. So these aren't real examples. But I'm just saying, like, it has to be bigger than me. And so the other person had posted, he was upset about Charlie Kirk, posting threats on the internet about Charlie Kirk saying, yeah, we got the guns. Bruh, everybody got guns. You live in the South, dog. Republicans and Democrats got the firearms on. I don't know what makes you think that because you're fighting for specific gun rights, that means that you're more loaded. Our uncle got an arsenal. Can't stand. He's full Democrat, and our uncle got an arsenal. So run up on Unc House over Charlie Kirk and see what happens to you. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like it just doesn't make sense. And then also the funny thing is they're like, oh, Democrat cities have all these gun violence. So why do you think, as a Republican, you're ready for war? If all the Democrat cities got all the gun violence, this doesn't make sense. And then he's posted. The last thing I've seen him post was the biggest threat to America is the Democratic Party. And I said, I can't imagine being this dense. So you believe that opposition is the biggest threat to America because somebody doesn't think the way you do. And then I'm like, I can't even imagine being so dense that everything a political party stands for, I'm with 100%. So there's nothing you disagree with? Nothing. So everything is right. Because y'all are called the right, that means you're right. Like, you know, the right thing is a directional thing, right? It's not like a literal, like I'm correct. And so I'm like, but then like a lot of these people, it's like, you know, it's like mutually, what do they call it? Mutually assured destruction or something like that. Like they'll hurt themselves so somebody else can get hurt. Like bro was like laughing about food stamps, like people getting off of food stamps. Because apparently there's been this myth that only lazy people gets food stamps. And it's just like, but bro, you can't afford groceries either. I'm not sure that is the case for him, but I just know the kind of job he has, he probably got a little bit of struggles.
Mm.
Formula is $60. $60. The Duchess looked it up. It was like when we had Cocoa Puff 5 years ago, it was like 30 something dollars. It's doubled in price in 5 years. And he got a newborn. I know that ain't easy. But it's like, yo, as long as these 15, as long as those 3% of illegal immigrants can't get food stamps, we're okay with tearing the whole system down. Are you stupid? And then let's give it to the wealthy people that got more than enough money so they can not give it to us. Because statistically, companies take their tax cuts and reinvest it into their shares, not their company. They don't reinvest it into hiring people. Well, Lando, how do you know? You're full of crap. Just look at the data. I'm not making this up. Just look at the data. The data shows that the more tax cuts you give the rich, the less jobs are created. I think they said since 1980 or 1930, I forget which number it was, but the Democrats have created like 3 times more jobs than the Republicans. And when I say we're talking about the millions. So saying like, oh, Democrats are broke, or if you're not Republican, you're broke, that's just stupid. Because political alignment has nothing to do with how business savvy you are. Political alignment doesn't, you know, like just like being a good person has nothing to do with how much money you make. Not saying you have to be a bad person to make money, but that doesn't, those two things don't align with each other. Just because you're Christian don't mean you're going to be rich.
Mm.
And just because you're atheist don't mean you're going to be rich or that you're going to be poor. So it's just like these people, and again, I'm independent. I don't care about neither one of those things. I vote my interests. Who's got the policies that I believe are going to benefit myself? Shoot. So I'm like, okay, you making you're taxing, you're not taxing the rich. Then they're like, oh, if there's two things I heard a lot of like Republicans say, people who have known to be that told me they were Republican. These are things that they told me was gonna happen if these things happen. Okay.
Mm.
I think you posted one of them. They said if you raise minimum wage to X amount of dollars, you're going to be paying X amount of dollars for a
Yeah.
burger.
Yeah, you raise minimum wage if to $20, then milk. I think they said milk was going to cost $20.
No, it was burgers. It was burgers.
Or yeah, burgers would cost $20.
But I go to a spot. Is one of the two best burgers I've had in my life. That spot is $25 for the burger. I go to McDonald's, the two cheeseburger meal that used to be $4
Mm-hmm.
not too long ago. That joint for the same meal, nothing's changed, is $11.
Yep.
But minimum wage ain't $20.
Minimum wage is still the same.
Minimum wage hasn't changed
Since when? Like,
since 2009. It's been set now. Not places, jobs aren't paying $7.25 out here where we live in Virginia like that. But they can legally pay you $7.25, and no one's gonna say anything about it. Guess what? Not only that, they've gotten rid of cashiers.
yep.
They've invested so much money into replacing working people. These things are still happening. Guess what? Hey, if you raise the taxes on the rich, they're going to take their companies overseas. To do what? I need y'all to tell me. To do what? Take it where overseas? There are 350 million people in America. I need y'all to understand this. There's 350 million people in America who love to buy stuff. We have a consumer culture. We spend, spend, spend. There's no other culture in the world like that. So they're going to go overseas to do what? They still have to do business here. That's why when Clinton raised the taxes, they kept their behinds here.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, they're not going to make the money. So it's like, take your power back. I know a few rich people. Those rich people, they don't be giving me nothing. You talk to them about you struggling, man, that sucks, man. I hope you get through it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and I'm not saying they have to. I'm just saying like their alignment is self-preservation, like human beings should be. But if you can't run on solely self-preservation if you're going to call yourself a Christian, because that's not what Jesus taught. How do I know? Because I have been on this journey that's 2 days away of me reading the Bible from cover to cover. And in no way did it say hoard everything you got. No way. Oh, this is a Christian nation. You know what Christians say? And you know what what's the rule of Christianity? If you're going to loan money, don't charge interest. My last car loan was a 22% interest rate. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, this is a Christian country. There's no, y'all have produced zero Christian principles. But you over here talking about Christianity. Don't none of y'all know anything about Christianity. And I used to say this all the time. I'm like, man, I'll be hearing people talking about God and stuff. I'm like, I don't think I believe in the same God you do. Like, we're reading the same Bible, but we have different perspectives. I just don't think that the God of mercy is this person that you're saying it is. And not saying that God is always merciful, but God is actually always merciful. Because none of us deserve anything. So I'm like, yeah, like y'all full of crap, man. Y'all just doing this for the sake of superiority. Nicki Minaj, back to her. You're just doing this for the sake of superiority. You're doing this so you can feel like you're better than people. And you've always been, you're nothing. What you could rap a little bit. You had rapping talent, and you got your body done to get attention. Congratulations. Now look at you. You lost your whole fan base because you want to high five it with this guy who cares nothing about people that look like you. And then, oh, Trump isn't racist because he's nice to some black people. That's like saying slave owners weren't racist because they like some of their slaves. Y'all niggas want to be the good one so bad, huh?
Yep.
Oh, you ain't like the rest of them. No, I am. It's a great movie. I don't remember his real name, but it's on the great movie 40-year-old version. You want a nigga here now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you ain't like the others. No, I am like the others. I am exactly like the others at times. So what? Not everything you do is kosher either. So get out of my face before you get swung on it.
Put a beat off. I want to spit over the track.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, and like I said, I've leaned more left, and it's not because of Republicans. It's because of MAGA. And it's because of this cult-like following. I'm just like, this is disgusting to me. When you hear people on the internet saying, what's wrong with Trump if he was actually molesting girls? What would be wrong with that? I'd punch you in your face if he was here and not stop punching until you were unconscious. You know what I'm saying? Or like these people saying stuff like Trump is making America great again, but like your grocery bills are still up. You can't buy a house. You can't buy a car. But Trump is making what's great? What's great about America in the last 8 years?
Farmers
Oh,
don't know.
well, Biden didn't make America great again. He never promised that. Donald Trump's promised it twice, and he's doing worse than he did the first time. This dude said that he reduced medical or pharmaceutical drug prices by 1,600%.
He just
That's not
don't
even
know.
mathematically possible. This dude's like, yo, we're gonna use the tariff money to pay for everything. And then they're like, yeah, the tariff money hasn't contributed nowhere near the amount of money it's gonna take for this thing to happen. And then there was, well, I think one person was like, "Where are you going to get the money from?" He's like, "I don't know, somewhere. We'll find it. How they're going to find it? They're going to print more money. And what's that going to do to the American dollar? Devalue the American dollar because of his concepts of a plan. Just like this healthcare thing. I can't
Yo,
stand.
hold
I'll
on,
get
hold on.
mad.
He said,
Yes,
he said, I don't know, somewhere, and
bro said that
folks,
on TV. Bro said that on TV with
and
cameras
people,
in his face.
and people think that that's the leader that you're looking for.
But this is a guy who's a billionaire, right? So that means he knows how to make money, right? So
Mm.
why is it that he's not making no money? Well, he's making, excuse me, he's making money for himself. He's certainly doing that. How's he doing that? He got this Trump coin. This dude, first of all, if you're a Christian, why would you co-sign a guy who made something called Trump Bibles? This dude put his name on the most holiest thing in the world. That should instantly turn you off from him.
But it doesn't.
But you know what I'm saying? I saw this one video. It was like dudes who are black conservatives, they just seek white validation. And
Mm.
every day, every single day, I be seeing these so-called black conservatives on Instagram. It makes me believe that more and more
Yeah,
because
like,
all their content is praising Trump or talking bad about some video they see of some black people fighting
yeah,
or
like that one
doing
dude.
a crime.
Like that one dude, he said he
And
wouldn't
they
cry in
all
front of
married to
his wife.
whites. They're all married to whites.
And that one dude that said he wouldn't cry. He wouldn't cry in front of his wife, but then had millions of people watching his stream while he was crying for Charlie Kirk. It was like you wouldn't cry. You wouldn't cry at your father's funeral,
He would have cried
but
if one of his kids died, but he cried for a person he never knew. And then not only that, when he pulled up on the funeral boy or whatever the I don't know, whatever ceremony they had for son, they were like, yeah, nah. You ain't invited. You're not on the list, dog, homie. I know they said it to him just like that too. Oh, sir, Broham, you're not on the list. And he cried some more in the car. Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum. And Stephen A. Smith sounded like them too. Stephen A. Smith, I've said this several times on this podcast. He's my favorite sports person, media personality on TV. But ever since he started talking about politics, I'm like, all right, I don't know if I can separate these like R. Kelly. Like I can't separate the music from. I was never a huge fan of R. Kelly's music, so that made it easy for me. But like, no, like I can't separate the activities you on. It's getting hard. You might have to get cut off too. I'm just saying, man. Like it is what it is. I'm like, y'all gotta like we gotta start standing up for something. That's what I'm saying. Like with the American people, like y'all gotta stop letting these billionaires bully you. They can't even fight. How you get bullied by somebody who can't fight?
Oh man.
And so what the people did with Nicki Minaj is the first step to some change. Let these rich people know we're the reason why you're rich. No, don't get me wrong. You came up with an idea that supported a lot of people. But at the end of the day, if nobody uses your stuff, you'll be just as broke as us.
Yeah.
And y'all talk about and then the Republicans, they love talking about capitalism, but then when the banking system was failing, what did they what It's too big to let it fail. Bail them out. No, you should just like that small business owner that puts his life savings into opening that restaurant and he does poor business practices and he gets shut down. All them banks that was only invested into them bad bonds should have all failed. That's capitalism. But y'all are like, they're too big to fail. Okay. And now look, we printed money and now look at the economy. And now Trump's about to print more money. I promise you, Trump's about to the Federal Reserve is about to print some more money. Y'all gonna be stuck when and people are starting to get less reliant on that dollar, the less reliant on that American currency. The globe, the world is starting to be like, nah, we ain't about to put up with America's nonsense no more. Especially when you got your leader just tariffing us for no reason. Bro had a free. Bro had
I
a
didn't like the last time I went over there. So tariffs on tea in the
bro.
UK.
Bro had a free trade deal with Canada, and he was like, "Yeah, nah, yeah, we don't tax y'all don't tax us. We cool. We cousins." And he like, "Nah, I need run me them ducats." And they're like, "Okay, we just won't trade with you. Like it's that simple. We just won't trade with you." That's China pretty much did the same thing. Yeah, nah, I guess we just won't. We got the rest of the world who would trade with us. We're China. Y'all not that big. There was a time where y'all used to be that big, and y'all sold it all to us. Now we running stuff, and we in Africa getting all their resources that you can't get. That's why you want to buy Nigeria. Don't make no damn sense. You attacking Venezuela that brings no fentanyl into the country, but you ain't doing nothing about China and Mexico, where the fentanyl is actually coming from. Okay, buffoonery, buffoonery. Anyways, I'm about to get mad. Let me about to. I'm already past that. So the other person I wanted to talk about was Dane Dash. Dane Dash who gets on this podcast, never heard this podcast before. And he says he's talking about like pretty much building capital for to start a company and how he built his own capital up. And a young lady on the podcast who really hadn't done anything when it came to doing any large business deals, started arguing with him and was like, and he was pretty much saying you shouldn't get along. And he was saying like in his experience, it was hard for him to get along. I think I'm trying to remember the video exactly, but like virtually he was saying because as a black man, it's difficult to get along.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, like you can just go to the bank and get a loan. Like you're misleading people. Zero sent me this video. I said, unfortunately, well, first of all, both of them are stupid. Dane's proven that multiple times. It's just in the last few months. But he's right in this instance. This feels like black Republican stuff in which there's this fairy tale that racial barriers disappeared. Even though the statistics show that even though black people have more wealth than ever, they are not they're still in compared to their white counterparts, not getting nowhere near the same amount of amenities given to them.
Mm.
So statistically speaking, black people don't get loans for businesses specifically at the same rate white people do. So to say like, oh, you can just go to the bank and get a loan, like you remember might have been a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. We were on this podcast. These young people get on. the $1 million worth of games podcast, and they're talking about like, oh, you can just get an LLC and get a loan, get a credit card. And I said, that's not how it works. As somebody who has started a business, Aster Media, logo behind me, that's not how it works.
Yeah, then we had an episode. It was like get an LLC and then what?
And then what? Have the rest of your yams in the auntie's house? That's not how that works. You need to build credit. So if you have no credit, they're not going to give you anything. If you don't have a business plan, they're not. So getting an LLC doesn't mean anything. You still have to have a business plan to get a loan. They skip that part, and then even TK, the comedian, I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, TK Kirkland.
Kirkland, okay. And he was like, yeah, American Express is going to send you a credit card. Yes, 100%. You will get a credit card offer if you start a business. One, you still need money. So if your business isn't making money, it doesn't make sense for you to get any kind of credit. Also, because you don't have business credit, everything's going under your name. So if you don't have good credit, guess what? That American Express offer they sent you, denied. If you have no credit, like you're very young, you start a business, denied. That's just how it works. That's how credit works. They still assess risk. So Dame Dash was correct in which, like, in his scenario, in many black people's scenario, you got to put up a lot of collateral in order to get a loan, or you just got to put up all the collateral and not get a loan and do it all yourself. And hopefully your product sells enough to where you can make a living. But I don't understand why there's people out here who haven't done anything, always wanting to argue with people who actually have done something. Like the people on the Breakfast Club going back and forth with Dame, they've accomplished a lot. Do they have bosses? 100%, but they also have businesses outside of their radio show. Just Hilarious is a comedian who like went on the road and did stand up. Like that's a business you got to run. Charlamagne got multiple businesses. DJ Envy got multiple businesses. So it's just like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5, using that 9 to 5 to gain assets to pay for your life. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, that's what everybody who's had a 9 to 5, who's in their 40s, should have done. Especially now. It's harder to get assets now. And so, like, Dame Dash doing it one way. So that's why I said they both are right. He shouldn't be telling people they shouldn't get a loan. You just need to assess it. That's what's best for you and your business. Mm-hmm. Like there's a guy that I follow, Ramit Sethi, and he constantly tells people like, you probably shouldn't buy a house. There's nothing wrong with renting. And he's absolutely right about that. And he's like, yo, I rented. And yes, that's worked for you. But when it comes to renting, depending on the size of, because I don't think he has any kids or anything, just him and his wife, depending on the size of your family, renting might just be too expensive for you. So it's like, yeah, well, and his logic is, well, like a mortgage is the least you're going to pay. Rent, or I'm sorry, how do you put it? Like if you rent, that's the most you're ever going to pay. Yeah. If you rent, that's the most you're ever going to pay. Because if anything happens, for the most part, the landlord covers it. Unless you like are irresponsible and physically do something to damage the property. And A mortgage, as somebody who owns a home, that's the least you're going to pay. As far as like, if the mortgage is $2,000, if the plumbing messes up, your mortgage for that month is 2,800 because it's $2,000 plus 800 for the plumbing.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? It's just like, so like, yeah, he's right in that sense, but that just depends on your situation. Doesn't mean you should go tell people this is the only way to do it. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. But he does like suggest this a lot. And he's like, yo, invest 401ks and Roth IRAs and this, that, and the other. Like this, do this, do this, do this. And you know, you'll by the time you're 65, you'll live a really good life. And nobody wants to wait till they're in their 60s to live a good life. But the problem is, if you don't prepare to live a good life in your 60s, and you try to chase that bag and you never get to the bag, now you're in your 60s and you ain't got nothing. That's a reality too. And so Dame saying like, yo, you shouldn't get a business loan. And the person who I look up to as far as like celebrity or anything the most is Eric Thomas, the ET the hip hop preacher. And he got denied for a loan after the bankers told him everything to do so he can get the loan.
Mm.
And he also mentioned in one story that he was to buy a house. He bought a house in California for his wife. And she pulled up, and the banker was like, yeah, you can't have two houses. And he's like, what you mean? A bunch of people got two houses. He's like, yeah, I heard of this thing called snowbirds and bi-coastal, and I make enough money. I make more than enough money.
Mm.
He had to call the CEO of that company to get the loan. As influential as he was, as he is. And the reason why, and he happened to had done a gig for that company, for that bank, and that's why he was connected with the CEO. And they're like, "What you mean? Yeah, give him the money, give him the loan." And then he said that he did something for the school system out there, and the money that he made from the school system paid the mortgage for the whole year, for the first year. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, bro, like, bro got plenty of money and they still denied him. They still gave him a hard time with the loan. And this is just something that black people have come to face. When we got our house, we had to face all sorts of obstacles to come to get the house that we got. So it's just like, now I don't know if it was a black thing, white thing, whatever, but it's just like, it just so, you don't want to blame everything on race, but it just so happens for some reason black people always got it the hardest.
Yeah.
And then there's this so that's where I'm coming from with that. But what are your thoughts on that whole conversation?
My issue, it was like, my thing was this, like, because she said that he was being misleading, or you don't want to mislead the people. But what exactly makes your advice sound advice?
That's why I said both of them were stupid.
Yeah, so it's like, because I know when he was talking about, like, he said you had to be a flipper, and I know, and what was frustrating me more and more with that thing is that, with that interview, is the fact that every time he tried to say something, it was like when he tried to explain his point of view on why he went a different route. It was like she just had to excuse me. It's like she just had to interrupt. It was like, yo, can you let the man talk? It was like, he said he was a flipper. It was like when he used the cup. I think he used the cup as an example. And he was like, buy 20 cups. Yeah, he was like, buy 20 cups and then you can flip it for, you said you can flip it for X amount of dollars. It's like, and that's how you would build, it's like, that's how you would build your money up. And he was like, well, what happens when you don't have any money? You think you can walk into a bank to ask for a loan with no money? Like, so you just, like you said, it's like, it's just because you walk in and ask for it, don't mean that they're entitled to give it to you. It's like, just go to the bank and ask for a loan and they'll give it to you. It, like you said, it's the LLC thing. Go get you a LLC, and then all of a sudden, here, all the money just starts rolling in. Like what the hell are we doing? Like what? Like the folks give so much advice and never do any research. They just hear what somebody else said and then they regurgitate it to somebody else because it sounded good to them, rather than doing your research, actually figuring out how this would work, how that will work. What do I do if I'm not able to go in this route? It's like you don't want to go through any avenues. You don't want to sit down. It's like I said, if I said it once, I'll say it again. You got the power of the sun in your hand. And instead of going on here and searching and
Yeah,
doing your research, or even go to a fucking
yeah,
library and doing your research, or
yeah,
reading every book, every business book possible, everything to make sure you gain the knowledge for when the time comes and you ready to take care of business, you know exactly what it is that you need to do. Instead, you hear one person say one thing, and because you liked it, you regurgitate it, and now you're just spreading bad info to everybody.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, because like, if it wasn't for certain things, like I wouldn't know. Like if I was just listening to influencers on social media, man, I'd be so jacked up. I'd be so jacked up, man. Like there's this guy, he gives a bunch of people tax advice. He's he's not even a tax person. He's telling everybody to write things off all the time. Hey, don't have a birthday party. Have a mastermind with all your friends and talk about some business. You can write that off on your taxes. Shut up. Stop telling people that. That's not how that works. I'm like we get a lot of people saying this stuff. Like Cam Newton was like, hey, I can write off my miles. Or people say, oh, you can write your gas off. You can't write your gas off. You write your mileage off. And he's like, oh, I drive to work. I can write my miles off. That's not how that works. If you drive for work, then yes, driving to work is a commute.
Yep. Because if that was the
Just
case, everybody could write off.
every drive that you make, going to the grocery store. Hey, I'm going to the grocery store to buy stuff for the business. But buy what? Buy food. Well, so you mean to tell me you spent $800 on food for your business?
Hold
Are
on,
you in
did
a,
you just write off your groceries?
Yeah, I mean, it's for the business. I gotta feed myself. That ain't how that works. Heard a guy say, which I mentioned on the podcast before, like, yo, yeah, man, you buy a fit for the podcast, you can write that off. No. Stop telling people that. Who told you that? They need to be arrested.
He said buy outfit for the podcast. It
Hey,
was
man,
like, so what if you bought that outfit to go out on the date and it just so happened that you were gonna go and
man,
record the podcast the
folks,
same
I'm
day?
telling y'all right now, I don't got that kind of money to be blowing on buying outfits for this podcast. I probably worn this shirt on this podcast 50, 11 times. I don't even know what shirt I got on. I
Is
don't
it the
know. Batman joint?
yeah
Batman.
Batman joint?
Man, I'm sure there's 100 clips and none of them was recorded on the same day. I promise you.
I'm
I
saying
promise you.
I've worn
Not
this
buying no
plenty of
outfits for this
times.
podcast.
You know what I'm
Not buying no
saying?
fits for a podcast. No.
You know how many times I've worn the same hat?
We're not doing that. I will not. This don't. We do not get enough. We do not have enough subscribers or get enough likes on these podcasts for me to feel like I need to do that. And even if I did feel like I need to buy clothes, it ain't gonna be for this podcast. I promise you that. You get my wardrobe, my regular wardrobe on this pod. As a matter of fact, we do this at night, so you really getting my nighttime wardrobe before I take my behind the bed. These my nighties.
Jammy
Yeah,
jam.
these are my gym jams. So yeah, now I promise y'all they're best around me get audited because I want to buy Jordans for the podcast. What? Y'all doing some devious things, man. Y'all up to these dastardly deeds.
Man, it's like I've been drinking water. I've been drinking water from this entire recording. I guess I could write my hydration on my off of my taxes, huh?
They be telling you can write everything off on your taxes. I'm like, that is not how that works, man.
Yo, every word you speak, write that off.
If you buying stuff specifically for the operation of your business, that's one thing. Mics,
Yep.
computers, cameras, whatever. Yeah, that stuff. Your outfit is not a write off.
He said buy a fit.
Hey man, if you buy a fit, write it off. Okay, man. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. And that auditor that happened to see your video, I can't wait for them to send you that letter. I'm excited for you to send them for them to send you that letter because you're stupid.
So it's like, yo, we audited you for a bunch of receipts from DTLR.
No, they gonna be like, oh yeah, yeah. No, they gonna look at them tax returns and be like, oh yeah, so you said you spent $20,000 on clothes. Do you have receipts for those? Oh yeah, no, that's not a uniform, sir. That is that is for your. You say you bought it for your podcast. Okay, yeah, no, sir, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Those are just clothes. Now, if you had a podcast uniform for all your everybody who goes on your podcast to wear, then you can maybe write that off.
Like, if you because like let's just
But
say we
the
made
but
hats
but
and
the Travis Scott Jordans you have, sir, that's not a write off. What were you saying? I'm
so
sorry.
if we had like made like hats and shirts and hoodies with the
Yeah,
podcast logo on them,
that would be that
that's a
would because that would be considered advertising, I guess.
uh
That's probably again. I'm not a tax attorney, so I don't want to give nobody no bad advice as
yeah.
I'm talking about people getting bad advice. But that's more write offable
Then you go and
than
get
you
that graphic tee.
you going to get an outfit to wear on your podcast. Hey man, I can't let them see
Hey
me
yo,
in the
give me one
same.
of it's like, hey yo, give me one of them chain shirts.
Hey man, oh man, you saw that joint with the mermaid glitter? I need that for the pod.
It's like, yo, give me
Mermaid
that jacket
glitter.
with the raccoon fur around the hood.
Oh yeah, oh man, I need that chinchilla for the pod, yo. 10,000, write that off. Okay.
No, they're gonna write you straight off to jail with you.
Oh no, no, they ain't gonna send them people to jail. They just gonna find the hell out of them. They just gonna find the hell out of them.
And when you don't pay them fines,
And then, but yeah, y'all giving these people horrible tax advice, horrible advice, and it's just like like I said, like I said, Dane Dash had a point. Like For real, if I were to give somebody advice on a business, and I haven't grown a big business, but if I were to tell somebody as far as business is concerned, buy as much as you can without a loan. Because especially like, for example, let's say I wanted to get us a studio and I'm like, yo, I go to the bank, I get a business loan.
Mm.
Then they like, yeah, all right, all right, Lando, we're gonna give you 50,000. Again, people, we don't make no money on this podcast. It costs me money. So if I got a $50,000 loan for a podcast that ain't making me no money, for the studio, can I write off the cost of the studio? Absolutely. But I still got to pay that money back.
Mm.
So I got to pay that money back and worry about, let's say we had staff, I got to worry about payroll, I got to worry about all this other stuff. And it's just like, and you're not generating enough revenue and you got a loan over your head, that's just adding stress on your life that you don't need. So buy as much as you can, pay for as much as you can, start as much as you can without having to get a loan. And so that's what I would say, combining both of their advice is probably the most sound advice. If you need a loan, if you need capital, if you need an injection of capital, then a loan or in getting networking with some kind of investors. Probably investors are probably, I don't know, they would probably, I assume just because of what I've seen on TV, they probably be better because they're taking the risk with you. And so they're probably more inclined to help you while the bank would just give you the money and tell you to figure it out. It's
Mm.
on you to figure it out and you'll have to pay us. But like you had like people on Shark Tank, like I can call Mark Cuban and be like, yo, like we're struggling with some things. I need some help. What advice do you have? This, that, and the other. And so like, because I think their money is based off, or what they get as a return is based off of how much revenue that you're going to be getting. So like, hey, if I got a 15% stake and I want my $100,000 back, I need you to make that $100,000 as quickly as possible because because I got a 15% stake. So I'm gonna need this company to do 1.5 million or whatever the math would be on that to get the 15% back. So it's just like, so it's just like that's probably more the way to go. But then those people may feel like they control your business. So there's pros and cons to it. Like, well, yeah, I understand I only own 10% of the company, but I remember the show I used to watch called The Profit. He's like, look, I own 20% of the company, but this is my money. I make 100% of the decisions, and you might not like that. So it might just be better to get a loan from the bank because you still want to have control. So it's just like, you do what's best for you. And like Zero said, you have the power of the sun in the palm of your hands from the great American philosopher, Dr. Octavius. And you, ChatGPT makes research so much easier. Now, don't get me wrong, ChatGPT be wrong on some stuff.
Mm.
But if you're just looking for general information, it can help you. How do I start my business? It'll tell you. What does something like that cost? It'll tell you. It's so much simpler than Googling because all it does the Googling for you. These AI stuff. So yeah, so I mean, shout out to Dame for like telling people there is an option other than getting a loan. Like he was able to flip stuff. He had that hustler's mentality or whatever. And that's one way of doing it. If you have a regular job, you can use some of that money to save to get certain things. That's what we do for our podcast. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like there's a lot of ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Don't know why anybody's skinning cats, but yeah. Well, that's all I got. Anything else?
Nah.
Big dog, what's your parting shot?
All right. My parting shot. Oh, to answer the question that I was asking. So, yeah, Jonathan Taylor ran for 70 yards. So he's still he's the only running back to that played Jacksonville that's ran for 70 yards or more the entire season. so
One more
but
game left.
but yeah, my parting shot is this. Nicki, shut the fuck up. Like, if you're gonna be gone, stay gone because this past year has been looking really bad for you, and that the icing on the cake just made you, or the cherry on top just made you look even worse. But what do I know? What do I know? I'm just the most charismatic man in the world. That's my parting shot.
Uh, my parting shot is Zero's a show off. So we did like a little mini concert for my aunt, our aunt, on Christmas. And y'all have heard us on this podcast, sing a little bit. Zero is clearly the better singer of the two of us, but he was just showing off on Christmas. So my part shot is he show off. He's way too cocky, way too arrogant. Can't stand him. Don't like that he's a better singer than me. Don't like that he's better than me at anything. But I don't like anybody being better than me at anything. But there's a lot of people better than me at everything. So that's my part shot. My part shot is my brother is a show off.
Oh, another thing. One more thing. So I sprayed a house, and shout out to Jelly Ball because I sprayed a house, and our oldest sibling came by and gave me the money for spraying her person's house. And I said to Jelly Ball, "Oh, I got my ducats." She said, "Yay, Daddy! Congratulations for getting your ducats." Congratulations for getting your ducats. And she has no clue what they were. Just, by the way, Daddy, what are ducats? Oh
This
man.
is funny. This is funny. Right before we go. So we were watching uh the last Captain America movie, the Red Hulk joint, Brave New World, right before we got on the podcast. And so I was like, yeah, we're gonna do Coco just love making just singing songs for no reason. And I was like, yeah, so after the movie finishes, we're gonna go to bed. And then like she's noticing the movie's coming too close to her head. And then she just goes, I don't wanna go to bed. I'm trying to turn off my phone. I'm like, you're going to bed. Why did you decide to sing that right now? So yeah, no, you're taking her on the bed. But no, she's funny. She's funny, man. But yeah, that's it for us, man. That's it for us. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. This has been the Between Brothers podcast. Um, I'm sorry, my eyes itching. All right, there we go. This has been the Between Brothers podcast, where the talk is always real and the laughs always come free. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.